concepts will be pertaining to the balance sheet and the income statement and inventory in particular. But I didn't put that in the title. Maybe we will. And so, once again, this is because we've been taking our second degree, and in this past module that we have completed with its own project and exams and everything, we worked through a series of practice chapters on inventory. And so that's what you see right here. I can't show you very much once again, copyright, right? So I'm going to say that's very limited. You may on Twitch see a table, but if you're watching this from or listening via podcast or my video, you will only see maybe 1 or 2 lines of text. And what it says is if I can read it there, it's a decrease by $1,000 of a year. Report this over on the balance sheet, income statement, and the cash flow statement. Okay, and so it's an exercise in which you would run through all the numbers and calculations yourself, and had to put the appropriate values in each. That's one. Okay, another one here you can see on the video right now. I have a separate tab here, which is for another stock summary, and we should have worked through this already, so we don't have to cover it again. So additional paid in capital in a previous episode. So that also is something that we can close. Over here now is an expanded scene of a third PDF document we're covering in this particular episode, and it's just a guide. So we can go to the application, the app, because everything we learn here is virtual, the degree, and there are a plethora of resources that you can download. There's a FAQ for frequently asked questions and articles and so on, and one of those has a resource tab where you can download certain guides. Now, on the side panel of each lesson or module, and chapter, are the lessons with their corresponding resources. And so one of them is disclosed as to do with the answer sheet of the balance, income statement, retained earnings, and cash flows. So what you see here is if you were to use, say, for example, Microsoft Excel, and create an Excel spreadsheet and run through all the numbers and work through the calculations to prepare your financial statements, this would be an answer sheet for that particular practice project. And it was just before we submitted the actual one itself. So I can get rid of that as well. I'm trying to see if I can find the specific. Okay, I can't for some reason seem to find the table anymore, but I'll just read it off from the live stream. What you see on the video portion is the variable and fixed cost, which is another of, I believe, 7 chapters of the first module, covering variable costs and various other things which we cannot show, but at least we can discuss it, which is just basic business accounting information. So variable costs, fixed costs, regardless of production, that depend on the production. And I'm going to wrap it up here because I'm just going to say I can take a look at the live stream, and it says there's basically a table showing the wardrobe, bookcases, and standing desks that were manufactured by a carpenter running his own business, and that's basically what that's all about. But needless to say, that pretty much wraps up this episode, and we're going to move on to the next one. So, once again, if you have anything related, if this is something that's related to what you do at work or so on and so forth, or you happen to own a business and stuff like that, feel free to just drop in and just talk a little bit about it. But otherwise, this is the 4th of 9 chapters to the particular game of accounting that we're trying to run through. So we'll see in the next one, and I think the next one will cover interfaces, but we'll see.